everyone, welcome back to our podcast. Today we're talking about something we all experience but rarely talk about openly, which is feelings at work. More specifically, how emotional intelligence helps us deal with conflicts in the workplace. I'm Ghefira, and with me are my friends Gavriella and Bakas.
Hi guys. Okay guys, we're really glad to be here and I'm so excited personally to talk about this topic because it's highly relevant, especially with college students, and hopefully we get to have a lot of insight together in this session.
Yeah. I'm really so excited about this topic because it's really applicable to our life and also our work. So I think it's important to us to know about emotional intelligence.
So true. So Gefira, what do we have today?
Okay, so let's start with this. The workplace environment really shapes how we behave, right? Like stressful deadlines and then demanding bosses, or even just a noisy office can totally affect our mood.
Totally. It's very relevant and not even on our office, as simple as our environment in college. We are in constant under tight deadlines, and also we are pressured with a lot of things to do at one time or simultaneously at the near time of one another, and therefore people can actually get really snappy or tense under that pressure. So like even small mistakes can actually be a big deal while everyone was tense, and that's a clear example how emotions can spread very negatively in a very fast pace in workplace and school environment.
That's true. I've had moments when my boss micromanaged me and I reacted it defensively. Instead of solving the problem, I slipped into more rebellious child state. And of course, the conflict only got worse and not getting clear.
True. So I think the ideal ego state that we need to have, the ideal one that we want to have, is adult state, because it conveys healthy and responsible communication in workplace. What do you think?
Okay, so this is where emotional intelligence, or EI,
Yes.
becomes super important, because EI is basically about self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and good social skills. So if you can recognize your own emotions, you're less likely to lash out in a moment.
Totally. I think that's something that we always need to practice and grow upon. And for example, this is probably very relatable, but during group project, if we notice a teammate that becomes silent or uncomfortable, just look upset, well, instead of ignoring it, with practicing our EI in a healthy, manageable scale, we would like to communicate with them and understand why are they feeling uncomfortable and why there is a chance of misunderstanding of a conflict.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think EI doesn't just help us as individually, but also as a team. When manager has empathy, they can de-escalate disputes more effectively. Sometimes it's about stepping into the nurturing parent stage, showing support and care to the team.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. And instead of being a child state where we only mock each other or take things personally, I think nurturing parent and adult ego state is a very important step to actually make the session of communication in our working more healthy and responsible and productive.
Yes, so true. So actually, I'll admit that I've had times when I sent an email or a message while I was in a bad mood, or like I was angry. So looking back, I realized that if I had paused and I reflected and used emotional intelligence, I could have avoided a massive conflict that was caused by the bad mood.
Yeah, totally. I've been there as well. But on the flip side, on the other side, we also can see that how if we use EI effectively, it can build trust and actual communication that is very dynamic and balanced towards the whole team. And once, instead of maybe like we interrupt during maybe a disagreement or a negotiation, we really need to listen to each other, because that small choice can actually make the other person feel heard, and we can all align our ideas effectively, and we know what each others are thinking, and so there's no conflict. And even if there's a conflict or disagreement, it would calm down fast because we understand each other very clearly.
Okay, yeah, that's I think how EI connects to ego states, because I think most conflict is about critical parent versus rebellious child. one is controlling and other is resist. So that's when we continuously to shift to adult state, we can just focus into the solution, and instead of emotion we just ignore it. That's when real progress happens.
Yeah, true, that's very true.
So so from our discussion, to wrap things up, maybe emotions definitely drive workplace behavior, but emotional intelligence gives us the tools to manage those emotions and prevent unnecessary conflicts. Right?
Yeah, so when talking about workplace, well, there's so many theories and actually base of foundations that we can use to provide healthy conversations and productive workings, but truth be told, it's not as easy as it's said to be. We always need to constantly practice because there's no other way to build a healthy working environment but to work itself with our friends and also our teammates. So when we combine that emotional intelligence and the awareness of our ego states, we can choose to act as the ideal state, which is from the adult state. Yeah, which leads to the healthier and more productive interactions, and also it can give a more long-term and sustainable team dynamic that would prove and produce optimal working results.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So maybe next time when we are about to snap at our work, just pause and take a break and ask ourselves, am I acting as a critical parent or a rebellious child, instead of can I respond as an adult?
Yeah, so we can all give out our best interests and also best understandings of one another, and therefore we can actually respond and talk to each other as responsible adults and give out the best of our works in the result that is required.
Yes. So I think that's all from us. Thank you for listening, and see